There is a question hidden beneath much of human ambition. A question so uncomfortable that most people never allow themselves to ask it. Not honestly. Because if answered honestly, it has the power to change everything. What if you could never be remembered? Not eventually, not after centuries, not after generations, immediately. The moment you died, every trace of your existence disappeared. Every photograph, every achievement, every story, every record, every monument. Gone. As though you had never existed at all. Would your life still matter? At first, most people resist the question. We search for loopholes. We look for exceptions. We imagine some way that a part of us survives. A legacy, a name, a contribution. Something permanent, something lasting. Something that remains after we are gone. And who can blame us? Human beings are temporary creatures. We know our time is limited. We know the clock is running. And so we spend much of our lives trying to leave footprints that outlast our journey. But there is a problem. The wind eventually reaches every footprint. Walk through an old cemetery. Most names are forgotten. Walk through ancient ruins. Most builders are unknown. Stand beneath a mountain. It remembers none of them. Empires rise. Empires fall. Monuments crumble. Languages vanish. Civilizations disappear. The universe continues, not because it is cruel, because it is indifferent. The stars do not remember us. The oceans do not remember us. The mountains do not remember us. And yet they remain beautiful. Most of history is populated by ghosts whose names no longer exist. People who loved, people who struggled, people who built homes, raised families, worked hard, suffered loss, celebrated victories, lived lives every bit as rich and complicated as our own. And now they are gone, forgotten. Yet their lives were no less real, no less meaningful, no less significant to the people who lived them. This is where we often become confused. We mistake remembrance for meaning. We assume that if something is forgotten, it must not have mattered. But those are not the same thing. A sunset can be meaningful. A conversation can be meaningful. A mountain climb can be meaningful. Even if nobody remembers them 100 years later. Meaning does not require permanence. Meaning requires presence. The ego wants a different answer. The ego wants permanence, recognition, importance, the continuation of the story. And perhaps this is why this question feels threatening, because it asks whether our goals would survive if legacy was removed from the equation. Would you still write the book? Would you still create the art? Would you still build the business? Would you still climb the mountain? Would you still help another human being if nobody would ever know? Imagine planting a tree. You know it will provide shade. You know it will outlive you. You know future generations may sit beneath its branches. But nobody will ever know you planted it. Would you still put it in the ground? Many people would. And that answer matters because it reveals something beyond recognition. It reveals value. The act remains worthwhile even when the credit disappears. Perhaps we have been asking the wrong question. Instead of asking, will I be remembered? Perhaps we should ask, was it worth doing? Because remembrance is not entirely under our control, but action is, character is, integrity is, meaning is. Think of the great cathedrals of Europe. Some took generations to complete. Many of the people who built them never saw the finished structure. They worked anyway, stone after stone, year after year, not because they would be remembered, because the work itself mattered, because some things deserve to exist regardless of who receives the credit. The same is true on a mountain. Most of the steps are forgotten. The summit photo survives. The struggle disappears. The cold disappears. The doubt disappears. The thousands of individual decisions disappear. Yet, those forgotten moments are what made the climb possible. The visible outcome rests upon invisible foundations, as does every meaningful life. Imagine a campfire burning in the wilderness. It gives warmth, light, comfort, stories. For a few hours, it transforms the darkness. Then eventually, it burns out. The ashes remain for a while. Then the wind carries them away. Nothing remains. Yet nobody would claim the fire was meaningless. The warmth was real. The light was real. The experience was real. Perhaps a human life is not so different. Perhaps the goal is not to become ashes that last forever. Perhaps the goal is to burn brightly while the fire exists. This question is not really about death. It is about motivation. It is about discovering what remains when legacy disappears. What survives? What pursuits still matter? What values remain intact? What direction continues to call to you? Those answers may reveal something deeper than recognition, something deeper than reputation, something closer to truth. So, imagine that every trace of your existence disappears the moment you die. No monuments, no memories, no legacy, nothing. Would your life still matter? If the answer is no, perhaps the wrong things have been driving you. If the answer is yes, ask yourself why. Because somewhere inside that answer lies the difference between significance and meaning. One depends on being remembered. The other never needed it. If this video resonated with you, you can support the work by liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Take care out there in the daring unknown.